Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody is doing well and hanging in there. And thanks so much for tuning in. And if you haven't hit the like button, please do so, and subscribe. It helps the algorithms and helps this channel and these videos get to more people who may be in need of the information. So thanks so much, everybody, and for being supportive of each other in the comments and praying for each other. It all helps. I hope this channel will be a source of information, validation, and support and healing. So thanks, everybody. Well, today, you know what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about how the devil is in the details. Yes, the devil is in the details. And what do I mean by that? Well, the severe malignant narcissist, or the one who is a narcissist high in the spectrum of narcissism, who manifests behavior of a sociopath or psychopath, and who also may have sadomasochistic tendencies, this severe type of narcissist will leave clues that you are about to enter the nightmare of your life when you meet them. But it's how do you detect these details, And what details am I talking about? Well, we'll go over some of them. But pay attention. You want to be on the offensive now, because these types are in high numbers around the world. And if I can spare one person from encountering this kind of pain and this type of destruction that they dish out, it's well worth me making this video now, or any video, because that's the whole point, is that these types are in high numbers globally, and we need to know the signs. We need to put on our full armor of God if we are to avoid the tactics of the adversary. Now, these types are very stealth-like. They go under the radar. They appear normal, pillars of the community, successful, you name it. However, there are, signs. The devil will be in the details. We have to look at all the details. That would be red flags, right? So when we first meet these types, they'll sweep us off our feet, love bomb us, compliment us. The adversary has a whole bunch of coincidences to throw at us to make us feel like this person was meant to be in our lives. And it could be a romantic relationship, or it could be, a business relationship. It could be a friend that is love bombing you to be a platonic friend, and they're just overwhelming you with kindness and I'll help you and let's do things together, and they're basically pulling you into their web, and they're one of these types. It could be any type of relationship, a family member that proposes some kind of opportunity for you, or why don't you move home because such and such is going on, and I think it's good for us if you come back and be part of the family. It could be anything like that. But regardless, they'll present something too good to be true to you, and it's not true. But we only find that out months, years later, unfortunately. So why didn't we see the signs up front? The devil's in the details. So let's examine some of those. Now, most people who have gotten out of these relationships said, oh, wow, if I only left when I heard such and such, or I should have left when they did this and that. Hindsight, yes, we all would have done things differently, but we're human. The adversary's a shrewd devil. He comes in and he knows these tactics. That's why we have to be wise, and people perish due to lack of knowledge. We have to put our armor on and know the tactics of the adversary to protect ourselves and be on the offense. So these signs that people were remorseful about, the signs where they thought, oh, wow, I should have left then, they happen to a lot of people. So I'll mention some of them here. And one of them is, when you first meet someone, they're love bombing you. And I'll use it in terms, again, of a romantic relationship. It's always easier to use that type of relationship to describe how they are. So say in terms of a romantic relationship, you first meet someone and they're love bombing you. They're complimenting you. You're the best thing since peanut butter. They're wrapping their life around you. They want you to meet their family. They're coming on super strong, saying they know you're the one, right? Well, that's a red flag in itself, is it not? Love is something that matures over time and grows. But for the malignant narcopath, no, they will tell you they are so sure. But what you have to realize is they've told this to a whole pile of people in the past. Probably 150, 300 people were the one that they were so in love with, It's standard for them. That's what they do. They'll say, I love you on the first date, second date. That's how they are. And they'll demand that you trust them, which is another red flag. So red flag number one is, if they're coming on way too strong and they know and they're so sure of you and they don't even know you, right? Number two is, obviously if they're demanding your trust right off the bat. Well, if you don't trust me, well, why don't you trust me? Well, why can't I find out where you live? Well, why can't I pick you up at your house? Don't you trust me? That's a huge red flag. And you should say, no, I don't trust you because I just met you. Trust is earned. And that is a signal to leave, I'm sorry to say. But few do leave because the narcissist is so convincing that they're to be trusted. And, any red flags that go off in your head, sometimes you blame yourself. Like, well, yeah, I'm hurting their feelings by not telling them where I live. No, you're not hurting their feelings. You're protecting yourself by not telling them where you live. But these types will be pushy and pushy to find out information about you. Well, why? Why? Why do they want all of these details about you? And why are they asking all these questions to you? Many times the target thinks, well, they're asking me all these questions because they're into me, because they like me, because, they're not talking about themselves, so therefore they're not a narcissist. Well, think again. That's the adversary's tactic, to make you think that they're not a narcissist, so the person will be focused on you. Oh, you look great, complimenting you. Where do you work? Where do you live? How much money do you have? They'll ask you all these personal questions up front. And if somebody's an empath or a compassionate, kind person who's honest, you're an open book, but you really can't be anymore. In the world today, these types are all over the place. So you really have to be guarded and watch what information you give somebody right off the bat, or even months down the road. Can you really trust them? Do you really know them? What do you know about the person after months? Many times with these types, they don't divulge much about themselves. They're just getting information from you. And as I said, it gives the impression that they're into you and they're selfless, right? When they're asking about you, you, and you. You think, well, they're not a narcissist. But many times, this is a tactic, that the adversary uses with these soldiers of Satan that he sends out in the world. So you think that. So you're fooled. When the truth is, the malignant narcissist is getting information where you live, where you work, if you're alone or not, if there's family around, all of those questions right off the bat to assess you, to see if they can abuse you, basically. That's the main objective, is to steal, kill, and destroy. So they have to find out, do you have family around? Do you live alone? Where do you work so I can stalk you? Can I pick you up at your home on the second date? Because once I know where you live, I'm able to stalk you and watch you 24/7 and terrorize you. That's what they're really thinking in their head, if they are indeed a severe malignant narcissist. So you don't want to give them too much information up front, or any information up front, until you really know them. And at what point do you really know someone? Think about it. People have been fooled by these types after months and months of spending every minute together with them. They've met their families. They know where they work, and still the person had very nefarious reasons for seeking them out and pursuing them. It was to destroy them. Many severe malignant narcissists that you've probably met along the way, and I hope you haven't met that many, but many of you have, that they don't really divulge much about themselves. They don't talk about their past relationships. They don't talk about too much about their situation or their feelings or what's important to them, or even their favorite color. I mean, even basic things they don't even discuss. Many times they're focused on you, extracting information from you. And why? So they can abuse you. So my advice would be, the devil's in the details. Don't give them details about yourself until you really, really know them, which takes a long time. And if they're demanding details from you, you really aren't obliged to give that information out to somebody you just met. And especially if they're saying, well, you have to trust me. Well, if you don't trust me, then I'm sorry, there can be no relationship here. Well, if they pull that stunt on you, which malignant narcissists do many times in the beginning, they don't even know the person they're demanding their trust. It's foolish to trust somebody even after months that you just met. They haven't earned that trust yet. So when a severe malignant narcissist says, well, you have to trust me, I trust you, then my answer to that would be, I trust myself too. I'm an honest person. It's you I'm worried about. Sorry, that takes time. Trust is earned. That's what I would say. People that have spent years with malignant narcissists and really still don't know who they are, because the malignant narcissist tends to have secret lives. Usually they're scoping to see when they can abuse you or when they can cheat on you, deceive you and be with other people. That's why they want to find out your schedule. It's usually to find out, when they can abuse you and when they can see their other forms of supply, etc., etc. So it's not because they're so interested in you. I can assure you that. So just be careful what you tell them as far as your own details, and as far as their details go. I would go on the offensive and ask them questions. You're trying to figure out, hey, is this person worthy of me? Is this person an honest person? Is this person a kind person? Is this person worth my time? Is this person somebody I can trust? And that all takes time. So you're going to have to ask some questions, and you're going to have to, see if their actions follow what they say. If their actions contradict their answers for everything as to who they are, then there's your answer. Always go with the actions instead of the words. And many narcissists don't divulge a lot about themselves when you first meet them or even after, because they've learned that when they did that in the past, they were caught in lies, right? So as the severe malignant narcissist gets older, they become very good at omitting things, not divulging certain things, and limiting the information they give about themselves. Why? Because in the past, that's how they got caught. So they learn with each form of supply what works, what doesn't. And as the narcissist gets older, he or she's probably more quiet and more questioning of you, just to get information, but not divulging a lot about themselves. So it's up to you to really go on the offensive and ask them the questions. If something doesn't make sense, ask the question again. And that's where the narcissist trips up. When they start doing the talking, many times they contradict themselves. You catch them in lies. There's a lot of discrepancies, and they're busted. So, if you have one of those quiet types at first that want you to trust them, but they're not divulging anything about themselves and only extracting all this information about you, that's kind of a red flag. So pay attention to the little details. And if someone is not willing to take their time with you, if somebody is not respectful of your boundaries as to your privacy or where you live and your security, then they're not worth spending time with. There's your answer right there. Anybody that is of God, that respects you, that is a kind, considerate person would completely understand that you are protecting yourself and that your comfort level is important to them, and they will have you take your time. But if someone is pressuring you to divulge personal information about yourself or your location or, details about your job or people in your life, etc., they may be one of these types that is just collecting information to abuse you. So be careful, take care of yourself, go slow, and somebody who is considerate will take the time with you to get to know you. So thanks once again, everybody, for checking in. And remember, the devil's in the details. Pay attention to the details or lack of details that they give you. And keep yourself safe. And if anybody would like one-on-one Christian guidance, just know a guidance phone call is a gift with your donation. So any and all donations to this channel are greatly appreciated. I'm up till 4 in the morning making videos and creating content. And, like you, I have my other obligations and overhead to make. So your donation greatly helps. It helps people to get the guidance and assistance that they need with the guidance phone calls. And also, hopefully, there will be a fund to help those people that are in need, that are trying to, move on from an abusive situation. So that's my hopes for the channel, everybody. And I really appreciate you guys being there and liking, sharing, and subscribing. Hopefully, when the subscriptions go over 10,000, the ads that pay pennies per view, yes, pennies only per view is what it pays, perhaps those will start adding up somehow. In the YouTube world, 10,000 subscribers isn't that much. So I know we can do that and do greater things too. And I really appreciate all of your help and your support to make that happen. So thanks, everybody. And put in the comments below if you've had these situations. It's always good to hear and to validate other people's experience. And if you need prayer, put it in the comments below. And I will see you next time, guys. Take care and stay safe.